Welcome to The Source with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry, and co-host Coby Owens. News all across the nation. The Source. Stay in the loop in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Work together for change in the community. A call to action to find the resources. The Source, the latest in news.
Good evening, this is Dr. Curry.
This is Coby Owens.
And welcome to The Source, as well as to Daylight Savings, or is it the other thing? Where you're not saving.
I think we're saving some sunlight by having more, right?
Yeah, is that? I don't know which way you look at it.
We're saving for giving it
but
back.
What I do know is we lost an hour of sleep today, and I am feeling it right now. I do need my hour back, but I'm looking forward to it because it has been a very, very cold and wet and snowy winter.
It has been, and I'm ready to break out the grill fully. Maybe even a beach trip every now and then, but I am ready for the warm weather now.
Yeah, it's interesting you say pull out the grill. They sent us information for our pool to be open, and I told my wife last year we didn't do hardly any cookouts other than we took the kids from our daycare to our home to do swimming every week because we didn't care too much for the swimming pools that are in the city. And I have not done that much. Well, this year I'm going to be ready to grill. So all of the Easy on Your Fair members know when the pastor turns the grill on, everybody come up and get a good hot dog or a hamburger, and we're looking forward to that. There are a few things we do want to grab onto, Coby, this week. Because, you know, even though there were some shootings this week, I still feel that the police department is doing a very good job in doing what they need to do. But I consider it to be 2.5 reported shootings. One was out of the city, but it was still, near our city, and it was not so much a murder. It was more of a person who did not surrender to what the police desired, but he was shot to death. So let's start with that one over there in the Tallahassee section. On Tuesday, there was a reporting of gun shooting in a home in Tallahassee, and it turned bad. So what do you know about that?
Yeah, around 3:50 p.m. on Tuesday, there was calls made to the police about someone's. This gentleman was in the house with a gun, firing shots. Once the police arrived, they surrounded the house, and there were shots being fired at the police. And after a few hours of a standoff, there was back and forth gunfire, which resulted in the suspect being shot and killed by the Newcastle County Police. This happened in Tallahassee, Delaware, so up 202 area. And again, this was off like where Ramsey Road is, back by heading towards the farm and everything. This again is the third police standoff that has resulted in an individual dying within the last 6 months.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
There was one down in Dover, one at the DMV back in December, and then now this one as well. So again, outside of the suspect, no one else was harmed.
Which is interesting because there was a roommate there.
Correct.
Throughout the whole ordeal. And do you think that it was more of a mental situation going on? I know we're not the ones who got the final information, but do you think it was more of a mental? Because for him not to harm anyone, I heard he came out with a shovel.
Yes.
Once they said surrender, and then he came out, started swinging at the cops.
So after he came out with the shovel, he was tased. The taser didn't work on him, and then he went back in the house, came back out with knives. So I believe that it was probably a mental breakdown, and in situations like that, once you have a deadly weapon in your hand, then they use deadly force.
Yeah. So it appears that Newcastle County Police, I know that the police officers are on administrative leave while the investigation goes on, and we're not making a conclusion in our comments, but it appears that they did things according to the book. Or decent, how it looks. We're not like that fired now. What do you call her? She's the not Homeland Security, but
Kristi
Noel, where she immediately called them a terrorist and things of that nature. But it appears at this point that that the city was doing, well, not the city, but the county followed protocol and waited until it was to a place where they could not do anything. But result of fatal use.
Correct.
Understood. But yet in the city, there were 2 additional shootings this
Yes.
week, and I want to just like highlight them. One of them was on Concord Avenue on I think it was on Wednesday or Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Was it Wednesday? What do we know about that?
That there was a shooting in the 600 block of Concord Ave, and a 23-year-old man. Police, when they arrived, they found a 23-year-old man with a gunshot wound. He was transported to the hospital in stable condition. As of right now, no arrests have been made. They have no suspect in mind. The incident still is under investigation, and it's very little information that the victim is giving to the police officers as well too. So they are, I do know that they were out there asking residents if you had the Ring camera or something like that, or any video, if you would be willing to share with them. But I don't know how the investigation is going.
Okay. Well, we're grateful that the person did not succumb to death, or the shooting did not. But I think that with them finding the person. But I couldn't remember whether or not, did they find the person who did this one?
They did not.
They did not.
yet.
So they're in the process of trying to
Yes.
find out who did that shooting on Concord Avenue. Next one was the shooting of the man and the woman in Wilmington on Wednesday.
Yes. So a suspect is in custody
Right.
there.
That's what
The shooting took place over in the Browntown neighborhood, over in the 6th District, that early Wednesday afternoon, that left a 54-year-old man and a 29-year-old woman wounded. Both were found with gunshot wounds in the unit block of Cedar Street around 12:10 p.m. Both were admitted to the hospital in stable condition. They were able to determine that this was an isolated incident, and they were able to identify the suspect. While the incident still remains under investigation, the suspect is in custody.
Now, the age differences with the 29-year-old and the 54-year-old, my question is, when you say it was isolated, were the 2 of them involved in this isolated incident, or were they separate situations that occurred?
So they were all involved with
Okay.
this situation, from my
Okay.
understanding. That age difference to me looks like a father and his daughter. Maybe they were all in the same house and something happened. But it was an isolated standalone.
Okay, for that
incident.
situation.
Yep.
I got you. Okay, I understand. The last thing I do want to bring up in this first part of our show today is the tragic death. Now, I heard so much street information, but the tragic death of the brother who was killed on the motorcycle crash leaving the cemetery. He was a part of the bikers group, and he was leaving. But the tragedy, and I know you have more information probably than I have, is that the mother of this individual had just buried
Yes.
her other child, almost in a like situation. What do you know about that?
His brother was the incident that happened on Merlin Ave.
Yeah.
They died exactly 1 month apart from each other, in January and in February. They were coming from the funeral. They had just buried Sean Brady,
Okay.
who was a Thunder Guard as well too, and they were coming back in town from Grace Lawn Memorial Cemetery. They were coming back in by the Rural Farms when a car pulled out. He hit the back of that car, then another car hit him once he was on the ground. He was 29 years old. His name was Tango. Well, his street name was Tango. I actually don't know his real name. You had people coming back from that funeral who stopped and tried to help prior to the fire department and EMS and police getting there. But he crashed into, like I said, he crashed into a rear of a Lexus while riding his motorcycle coming back. After that, he was taken to the hospital where he was officially pronounced dead. And again, I just pray for that family. They've now lost 2 individuals in motorcycle accidents this year. And it just is a very stark reminder to be very careful.
Yeah.
if you do own a motorcycle. Road conditions have been very bad with the weather, but also there's drivers out there who just don't pay attention as well too.
Yeah, it's so many factors. So many
yeah.
factors. You know, I got a question for you. The bikers group? What do they call them? The
Thunder Guard.
Thunder Guards. Do they have a leader? I'm unaware, so I'm just really asking questions because I did notice whenever they have services here at the church, and if I'm involved in this preaching of the service and going to the cemetery, they like to do their procession.
Yeah.
But I notice it is not organized. I notice that sometimes it's a little wild. And I said something to an undertaker that really somebody needs to do a class, they need to do a training. Do you know if they have a leader or they just all come together?
That I don't know. It always seems to me that they come together. They may have a leader. They do have their rituals that they perform at the funeral, and then they bury their own. So the families will pull up with shovels in the car. They'll have the backhoe drop the dirt next to the gravesite.
But that's more for the Muslims.
No, that's for the Thunder Guard. That's their tradition as well too. So they will bury their own there. That was something I just learned when his brother. I saw the videos of it, and I asked one of my neighbors who's a Thunder Guard, and he said that's what they do.
Well, okay, so where my question really was is that during that procession, I think someone needs to do some training because it's so dignified. You're trying to honor the deceased, and I think when you're driving, their issue is when they was leaving the cemetery in this situation. But I've watched them go to the cemetery and even leave, and sometimes it becomes a whole lot. And you know, on the street, people are quick to say people were drinking and things of that nature. We don't know the details of that,
right.
But what we do know is a person lost their life tragically, and we want to make sure that, you know, I just wanted to ask the question whether or not there was a person doing any training, and if it is not, then it should probably be suggested that when we do services, this is our format so that we can have a dignified service. That's all I was really concerned about. The last thing I want to jump on is Texas primary.
Yes.
I'm Coby. I know you're a political hawk. You are one of those people who are nerd for all this stuff. It just seems clear to me, and we'll talk about several aspects of it, but it seems clear to me that if the Democrats vote, the people who supported the Democratic Party just in the primaries, they should take the state of Texas.
Yes.
All right. Let me just throw this in here, this one piece. John Cornyn, he's the incumbent.
Yes.
To my understanding, he's not going to run.
No, he is running.
Oh, so the other... Wait.
He's in a runoff.
No, but I thought he removed himself. You may have gotten the latest date.
Not that I know.
Look it up while I'm talking, okay?
Right.
Because I think that he did remove himself because they didn't want to go spend as much money they would have to spend. But he received 41.9% of the vote, which was 907,000 votes. Ken Paxton received 40.7%, which is 881,000 votes. Wesley Hunt, the black candidate, had 13% of the vote, and he had 292,000 votes. It was a total of 2,080,993 votes done for the Republicans, those who voted in that primary. It was a highly contested primary, and that meant they were polling all. Normally, when you have a high contested, the majority of your Republicans are voting because they want their candidate to win. In the Democratic side, James, the one who won, I cannot say his name right, so I tend not to say the name, so do apologize for that. He had 52.4%, which was 1,212,000. Ms. Crockett, Congresswoman Crockett, she had 46.2%, which is 1,066,000 votes. Now listen, even though the other person only got 1%, that's 2.3 million votes. Both of them got more votes than either of the two Republicans. Now I'll land my plane and say, Coby, why can't we win Texas?
So It will 100% depend on who the Republican nominee is. The Democrats are fired up there, but you have some independents who will vote for Democrats because they don't like Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton is the current Attorney General who's under multiple investigations, and Donald Trump asked him to run against John Cornyn because Cornyn hasn't been a strong MAGA Republican who has supported the president at every step of the way. Cornyn has challenged the president both last term and this term. And Ken Paxton has been very loyal to Donald Trump. What you were talking about, the senator who dropped out, is Steve Daines from Montana.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Cornyn is staying in, and Trump actually had a call with Ken Paxton to let him know yesterday that he will most likely be endorsing John Cornyn. So Donald Trump asked you to run and then going to endorse your opponent because they see just how bad Texas is looking on their side. And if Ken Paxton, who I want to win that primary,
I'm sure you do.
If he wins that primary, Texas will most likely flip. Now, on the Democratic side, there's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of divisive language around why Jasmine Crockett did not win. Did some of it have to do with she was a black woman? Yes, absolutely. But internally, from what I know of her campaign, it was not the most well-organized campaign. Her messaging, and there was some of us who have reached out to her team to tell her, your messaging cannot solely be about you.
Absolutely.
You have to give a vision on what you want people to vote for, what you want to do. Her last 6 mailers that she sent out to Travis County, to Dallas County, only talked about her standing up, her fighting Trump, which is fine. It didn't say one piece of policy that she's willing to advocate
And he did
for.
just the opposite.
And he did just the opposite. He talked about the system. She talked about Donald Trump. But I do not want to negate the fact that there was a lot of racism in this race, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
There was a lot of people who did not want to see a black woman be at the top of that ticket in Texas. And Texas still has a long way to go when it comes to that. I do wish Jasmine Crockett the best of luck in her future endeavors. I know she's not going anywhere. She's still going to be a powerhouse within the party, even though she's not elected. She's probably going to go back to private practice. But I think we also got another opportunity to get someone just as strong who will probably vote even more progressive than she was in Reverend Dr. Frederick Haynes.
Oh, yeah.
Who
Powerful
is
preacher, too.
her preacher, actually, who is replacing her in Congress. He won his primary. And he won his primary with nice margins as well, too. He didn't go into a runoff. It was 3 people in that race. But he won that seat with about 73% of the vote.
Wow, that
awesome. Is overwhelming.
Yes,
and that is a strong Democratic seat.
But
there.
he's powerful, and even though I know Freddie Haynes, I know his theology strong, which lines up with the progressive movement. But I'm just more concerned now. If you allow me to shift you back to Texas, I'm more concerned now that that the black vote will feel slighted and not vote when we need them more now than ever before to change Texas.
I think so as well, too. Texas has the largest black population in the whole United States of America. But I think this is the opportunity for some of our black national figures to really try to flex their muscle to help get over the finish line and show how important the black vote is, but how important their voice is in the movement as well, too. And that is something that I'm directing those comments towards someone like a Vice President Harris, someone like a Governor Westmore, a Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, Angela Alsobrooks, Lisa Blunt Rochester, those powerful black senators, Raphael Warnock, those powerful black senators to come in and make sure that we get over the finish line here. And it's going to take some work, but I'm glad Texas has such an early primary, not like Delaware, who is 2 months away from November, but now we have this whole summer to kind of lead up and build that movement and keep it going.
What are his weaknesses?
Black voters. He is more centrist leaning.
Which may help him in Texas, though.
Which may help him in Texas, especially when it comes to the independent vote, but also building a coalition of progressives down there to make sure that they come out and still vote and not vote third party would probably be his biggest things. And then another is fundraising, right? Money is going to pour into this race from super PACs. He has to make sure he stays on top of his game and he raises the money he needs to stay competitive in this race. Because based upon the phone call with Kim Paxton and the president, Kim Paxton said, even if you endorse John Cornyn, I'm not dropping out. So hopefully with that runoff, they have to spend even more money in that before they can start focusing on a general election. Hopefully that gives us an opportunity to pick up gains even more in the Dallas, Fort Worth area, El Paso area, San Antonio, Austin, and Houston areas.
Well, literally, he's about 100,000, not even about 50,000 votes shy of being in front of Paxton. Do you think that the Republican votes for that was going for Wesley will go to Kim Paxton, or do you think it will go to?
See, that's the interesting thing, because whenever you have an incumbent, I count all votes that didn't go to that incumbent towards opposition of not wanting that incumbent anymore. I would say it would probably break around like 70-30 for Kim Paxton, which could give him just enough to beat him. Again, with a runoff election, you could have new voters come out. You could have people who stay home, right? It doesn't guarantee that those 292,000 people will all come out and vote. And it also doesn't guarantee that the votes that they got already, those people will come out and vote. So it'll be very interesting.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm getting myself ready in fighting trim to see how it is. And I didn't want to slight Freddie Haynes. He's a great. I know him personally, and I know he's going to do a great job. But I wanted to stick to the Texas, this particular race because
the Senate race,
I'm trying to get the Senate flipped. That's what I'm trying to do. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Home. It's the place where we go to feel secure, safe, and loved. But for thousands of youth living on the streets, there's no such thing as home. Out here, it's a predatory world that can destroy lives forever. At Covenant House, we give at-risk youth a place to go where they feel safe, supported, and people care about their future. A place to call home. To help or get help, go to safeplacetosleep.org.
Smiles are powerful. A simple smile can light up a whole room. And for 25 years, Smile Train has been lighting up the world with smiles. And each smile marks a step towards a brighter future. As the world's largest cleft lip and palate charity, Smile Train has supported more than 2 million life-changing cleft surgeries in over 90 countries, leaving a legacy of resilience, joy, and beaming smiles for generations of children. To learn more about cleft lips and palates and how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community all over the world, please visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, lighting up the world with smiles for 25 years.
And we're back. Coby, what's going on with the Coby Corner?
So a few things have happened this week in D.C., but the biggest thing is Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Secretary, has been fired, and she was fired while she was in the middle of giving us a keynote speech.
Didn't he tell her before she went up there? Oh.
He told her he was upset with her, but he was going to keep her. And then it got leaked that he had apparently talked to a U.S. senator about if he would be interested in taking the post if it was open. I guess that U.S. senator said yes. And while she was in the middle, the crowd's phone started pinging, and they said you could hear a gasp in the in the room. Kristi Noem used to be the governor of South Dakota.
Right.
She was the congresswoman first, then the governor. She gave up the governorship to become the Secretary of Homeland Security in 2025. During that point, she changed her whole personality, started wearing cowboy hats, and I guess she thought she was a new sheriff in town. Under her leadership, ICE has killed numerous U.S. citizens. They have refocused their mission from border protection to being a paramilitary group in U.S. cities all across this country. And they use taxpayer dollars to retrofit luxury jets so that she can ride in style. Earlier this week, there was a congressional hearing in which she was asked about one of the jets that her office uses that was purchased, that they said that they were going to use to deport people so that they don't have to spend as much money on commercial flights, which angered some Republicans because this is a personal jet size with a maximum capacity of 15, whereas they was using commercial jets and filling them up where hundreds of people were being deported at a time. So honestly, use the smaller jets. But in there was a custom bedroom. There was lounge chairs and everything in the office space. And she said, while we're using that right now, in the next few months, we're going to be, changing that and adding more seats to the area. But that was in no plans, no proposals, no nothing, no budget requests or anything. She lied on the stands. But she did not perjure herself when she was asked the question, does Donald Trump know that you requested $22 million to retrofit and make it more luxurious of a jet? And she said yes.
Yeah, but that was the second time she said yes. But the one that got me is when $280 million on those commercials.
Yes,
that's the one I think that infuriated him because the supporting Republican, what is his name? I can't remember, Kennedy or which one of the real supporting? He supports Donald Trump pretty good. He talks funny. He has
John Kennedy from Louisiana.
Well, he said, I want to know about this commercial that highlight you, and he wanted to know whether or not the president, he said specifically, because she kept saying yes, 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 but she said, the president is aware that you spent $280 million on the commercials? She said yes. I think that was the pull.
And it's not just commercials on TV. It's she forced every airline in the nation to run those as you walk through the airline. It's her voice, it's her image and everything. It's all through the Philly airport, the Trenton airport, the small one, smaller than Wilmington's airport. It's in Wilmington's airport. Signage is coming out now. She's not even secretary anymore, so we got to pull all that signage back. This is why you use generic, but yeah. Senator Richard Blumenfeld, the senior senator from Connecticut, after Noem was fired, said that he is going to pursue Noem's perjury investigation. She said that Corey Lewandowski, who is a former Senate candidate in himself, was one of her top advisors, had not approved contracts for the Department of Homeland Security. It is also evidence that those two, Corey and Noem, had an affair, but his signature is on numerous contracts with the federal government. So when she said no, he did not approve anything, your signature is your approval.
Absolutely.
So she did perjure herself in that light, and he said he is going to pursue that. Donald Trump has cut all ties to her already.
That's how he does. One-way street.
And he has nominated U.S. Senator Mark Wayne from Oklahoma. He's the junior senator out there, was a congressman before he ran for the Senate. You may know him as in 2021 on January 6th. He was hiding while other Democrats were trying to blockade the door to stop protesters to get in. But he's also the tough guy who threatened to fight a witness because he didn't like how the witness answered his question. He got into a back and forth with Sean O'Brien, the president of the Teamsters, who's a Republican in himself, but he didn't like how he was answering the questions and thought he was too arrogant and threatened to fight a witness. So this is who's going to be our next potential Secretary of Homeland Security. I say that because usually the senators, they all vote. If it's one of their own, they overwhelmingly just vote to confirm. There will be some people who vote no. But the first Democrat to come out and say 100% he is supporting this nomination is the senator from Pennsylvania, John Fetterman.
When is his time up again?
He's 2030. Or no, 2028 actually.
Okay, let's hurry and get us there.
During the presidential cycle he's up, because he was off year before. He was 2022. So that is what's going on in D.C. I know during the last time we talked about Texas, Senator Steve Daines, the senior senator from Montana, he withdrew his nomination, his candidacy 2 minutes before the filing deadline, and 1 minute before the filing deadline, the person who he wants to replace him filed to run there. There is no Democrat who's running in that. There is the president of the Montana University. He's running as an independent with the backing of former Senator John Tester. Tester and Daines served together for 12 years. Those two hated each other. One was Democrat, one was Republican. Daines was the architect in defeating John Tester during 2024 with the help of Elon Musk. And speaking of just craziness with U.S. Senate, the junior senator who's about to become the senior senator who beat John Tester, who's a farmer, Tim Shea, the junior senator from Montana, there was a protester, the Green Party candidate for North Carolina Senate seat, who is a retired Marine, was protesting about the Iranian war. And as Capitol Police was trying to get him out, he came off the dais, came down and ran and tried to help. In that process, the Green candidate, his hand and arm was in between the door, and when the senator pulled him, he broke his arm. So this U.S. senator broke the arm of a retired U.S. Marine because he did not want him to talk out and speak out about what is going on in Iran right now.
Wow.
So that's D.C. in a nutshell right now. And then on top of all that, I do want to talk about what is going on with Iran. The U.S. Attacked Iran. They bombed a school over there, killing numerous school-age kids.
See, I didn't know about that one.
All to kill their leader, the ruling leader over there, because he was at the school at the time. Do I agree with the Iranian leader and any of his practices? Absolutely not. Do I think they should have bombed the school because they knew where he was? Absolutely not. But it has caused conflict. Iran has responded by attacking U.S. military bases abroad, not here on American soil, but abroad. They have started firing missiles at Israel, who is firing back. This all is because of tension between Israel and Iran. Again, AIPAC is very powerful here in America, and people feel as though we have to defend Israel.
Even when Israel pull us into stuff.
Correct. 6 U.S. service people have been killed already, so more American lives are going to probably be lost because of this senseless war. And it seems as though Donald Trump wants to take us into a world war so that he can win re-election and say, or could go into martial law and say he can't leave office so he can stay in. He's kind of pulling the George Bush playbook out. It has always been very tense, but President Obama struck a deal with Iran to halt their nuclear missiles. When Trump became president the first time, he ripped that deal up, which allowed them to continue on their mission to get nuclear weapons. Now they have nuclear weapons, and now we're going to war to stop them from using those nuclear weapons. Make it make sense. But this is not a new geopolitical conflict, right? It's a very complex, in-depth war and tension that has led up to this very moment. And it's going to continue to grow. The attacks are going to continue to happen. Again, this could be a very prolonged and messy conflict. If Iranian allies join in, it will get even worse. And the U.S. is, telling people that if you're in certain countries, try to get back home as soon as possible. There are Americans who are stuck over there right now who are scared to go to airports. Airports have been taken over. So again, this is everything that Donald Trump, John Bolton, and all of them have wanted for years. And I just want to say, Donald Trump is being very transparent about what they're doing over in Iran right now, more transparent about war than George Bush was with the weapons of mass destruction that they never found. The only thing he's not being transparent with is the Epstein files. So do I think that he pushed this and pushed this conflict, which has been brewing for decades, almost 5 decades, so that it could be a distraction from the Epstein files? Absolutely.
But it's coming back.
But it's going to come back. Tim Kaine has put up the War Powers Resolution to kind of try to pull back some of the power and get authorization from Congress to do more actions. That failed with John Fetterman voting with the Republicans. Rand Paul from Kentucky voted with the Democrats, so they evened each other out. But Susan Collins voted with the Republicans.
Shockingly.
And she is in a tough race for her reelection as well, too. So again, that's just where we're at with things.
Wait, before you go away from there, I do want to share that I don't think Donald Trump knew that they could not be bullied.
Yeah.
He has bullied his way through everybody. So now I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to come out of this one. Because them people, it's like they're like little men going to keep fighting. They're going to keep fighting, and they're holding their own. To be honest with you, they're not as powerful as America is. But America keeps saying they're not going to put no boots on the ground. And just like Russia is bigger than Ukraine, but they're sticking in there. And I'm thinking, how long can we survive what we're going through and how much money they've already spent? We can't get health care, but we can spend all this money on this war. I just don't understand it.
No, I agree with you. We're, quote unquote, the richest nation in the world. Our taxes went up to pay for all this. But again, we have more homeless than any other country, more people incarcerated, more people going bankrupt because of medical debt, more people who can't attain housing right now. You have to make close to $90,000 just to rent a apartment here in the city of Wilmington. That is insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. And my last point before we wrap up this corner, bringing it all the way back to Delaware, is the Wilmington Learning Collaborative. It has been something that has been born out of a lawsuit that J Street brought against the state for equitable funding. The current chair is Helen Anderson, Hicks Anderson's daughter, and the executive director is Laura Burgos. But in the FY27 budget, the governor, Matt Myers, has proposed that 80% funding cut to the Wilmington Learning Collaborative. 80% funding cut. So this would take their annual operating from 10 million down to 2 million. DOE says that they expect that from the 10 million from last year, that they should be rolling over about a $2 million surplus, should be rolling over to the next year as well too. So in total, they would have a $4 million to work with FY27. This again was proposed. This is a part of his budget that was proposed in late January. Still going through everything, but effectively they will have $6 million to work, less dollars to work with next year.
Wow, is that sustainable?
No. Does Wilmington Learning Collaborative need to change a little bit? Yes, probably, but I don't think that this level would be sustainable. But the governor has also called for the Reading Consortium and Wilmington Learning Collaborative to coordinate to avoid overlapping program and efforts, so that it can better service our community. Again, I think there is a lot of work that needs to be done, but I don't think the funding cut is necessary.
Okay. All right.
That's all I have for y'all in this section.
How's City Council working out?
City Council's doing good. We this week was one of our toughest weeks because we had 4 straight nights of long meetings, starting with a finance meeting that was 3.5 hours, public works meeting that was 3 hours, a intergovernmental meeting that was 3 hours, and then a council meeting that was 3.5 hours on Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we had meetings all those days.
Oh, wow.
So I am tired,
yeah,
but it was very productive. We got some good stuff done. My rental legislation has been officially introduced. So now what I'm doing, I'm seeking feedback from landlords and tenants on how we can really make this work best for the city of Wilmington.
How's my young brother doing?
He's doing good. He's doing good. He is doing some legislation that is some like back end clarifying code legislation right now to make sure that we don't have gray areas.
Somebody's asking, who is his friend?
Oh, that? We're going to have to bring him on the show to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, no, my friend is I saw him in the mall the other day. I was there doing something, and he was moving fast as he always do. But I really appreciate him, and I'm hoping that I just want to make sure he's still moving and shaking.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the only thing that gets covered is the negative.
Yeah.
And the positive is not, but he is still shaking.
Yes,
but we are going to invite him to the show. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about this midterms coming up.
Yes.
We've talked a lot about it, but we're going to continue to talk about it. And another thing I want to add to that segment, the tariffs. When are we going to get our money back? I'm looking for my refund. What about you? We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Join us live for our weekly worship. On Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
Today, we face a relentless opponent, but we will not back down. We will dig deep. We will push ourselves harder than ever before. We will train. We will study our opponent. We will come together as a team. No matter the obstacles, the challenges, or the amount of hard work it will take, we will not stop, because finding a cure for breast cancer is our end game. Lifetime proudly supports the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Lifetime is the official broadcaster of the National Women's Soccer League.
And we're back. Well, the Supreme Court said that they declined with approving and ruled in favor of the tariffs being illegal that Donald Trump have put on the people. He said there was trillions of dollars that were collected. When are we going to get our refunds?
So, as of Wednesday, the first step has started. So, Judge Richard Eaton from the U.S. Court of International Trade has ordered the Trump administration to take the first steps towards issuing more than $1 billion in potential tariff refunds. Now, of course, the Trump administration is probably going to appeal that. But based upon what the Supreme Court said, I highly doubt that it's even going to make it back to the Supreme Court on having to do this refund. Again, thousands of businesses have been affected by this.
What about the customers?
Well, unless you got your receipts. No, I have no clue.
You know, I got my receipts. But because the problem is, Coby, the big wealthy folks are going to get all this money.
Yes.
And I'm not, I mean, even though they spent, but they a lot of it they passed on to the people. It's just the rich man still getting the gifts. Mm-hmm. I want to see a check coming to us who have bought things that were international, and it was tariffed, that we get some money back. It was funny. I was in what do you call that place where it's a fabulous or no fab. It's like they have sweatsuits and things. I wear them often.
Fabletics.
Fabletics,
yes.
Right. Fabletics, and I get those points. I'm a member. And I went in there, I said, well, I want to use some more points for this, that, and the other that I was purchasing. And the woman said, oh, great. And then she tells me I have an $8 bill for it. I said, what's the $8 for if I have these credits? She said, well, that's for tariffs. I said, didn't they get rid of it? She said, not yet. My question is, now that when they get rid of it, when am I going to get my $8 back? And it's not only $8 there, but I'm just using it as an example.
So you're not, because this is a win for businesses, not for the American people.
Yeah.
And how Trump and his administration is pitching it already is, oh, well, if we're going to have to pay the business back, we can't give you your tariff checks that we promised you. You was never going to give us those tariff checks. Yeah. And again, this takes $100 billion out of our operating budget for the U.S. To have a balanced budget, we would need to make up that money. How do you expect that we will be making up that money?
I didn't know it was a part of the budget. I thought he just said it could. There was a possibility that we make money off of it. I didn't know it was a part of the budget.
It was revenues that came in. So that money goes to like a general fund that then we can use to kind of not have to raise taxes on people, as he says. But this is the issue with all this, right? You have now caused it. These prices are not going to go down.
They're not.
They're not. A Ford F-150 is still going to be $100,000, whereas before you took office, it was $70,000. These prices aren't going to go down. These companies are going to get these big refunds. And if they do get these refunds, where are they going to go? They're going to go right to the CEO and C-level and executive suite bonuses, right? Oh, well, we fought so hard to get this money back, so now we gotta have it, right? The American people got hoodwinked by Donald Trump, just like everyone who went to Donald Trump University, Donald Trump hotels, Donald Trump construction company, Donald Trump anything. Donald Trump America is ghetto.
Yeah, but they be getting over quite often.
He always does.
Now moving from that, then, what about the White House new ballroom? And Is that really being privately funded?
I highly doubt it, but he keeps saying it is. He's pretty much selling assets to the president in order to build this new grand ballroom. If you can give, $1 million to build this, you get a private dinner with me and we could talk about whatever. That is literally bribery one-on-one. I know politicians in Philly and New York who have gone to jail for multiple years for less. Less money.
That's action. Yeah.
He's selling our country out.
Yeah. Well, the 4 years can't come and go fast enough, but we're going to see how it all turned out. Last but certainly not least, Coby, I need to know, where are you feeling? Are you still very strong on the Congress turning?
I do.
By how many seats?
I still feel as though it's the Senate or the Congress is going to flip. I'm still at that 25 range.
Okay.
There was some good victories the other day in Texas and North Carolina. I think going in, momentum is going to be there. Democrats have won almost every special election that has happened since Trump has taken office. They're at a 97% win rate right now. On a congressional level, it has been going great. I think the key is going to be Texas again, but if you look at it, with Texas redistricting, it's still going to be very competitive down there in some of those races. But they triggered California, Virginia, all these other states to redistrict. Colorado now, New York now, which I think will garner even more Democratic seats. So even if Florida decides to redistrict, it still will not make up the difference.
Yeah, well, now isn't Sands, what's his name?
Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis. Isn't his wife running for governor?
She is not now.
She's not going to run? No,
she's not. She had seriously considered it, but the front runner there is the black congressman. And as of Thursday of last week, the 4 black Republicans who are in the U.S. House, none of them will be returning. The last one, Burgess Owens from Utah, announced that he's retiring due to their redistricting out there, where they messed around and put him in incumbent versus incumbent race and created actually a Democratic-leaning district out there. Oh, wow. So they got rid of all the black ones. John James in Michigan is running for governor. The one in Florida is running for governor. Wesley Hunt just lost his race for Texas U.S. Senate, and now Burgess is retiring.
Yeah, and the last thing is the Senate. Will we take it? If so, by how much?
So the Senate in North Carolina had their primary race as well, too. The governor, former governor, Roy Cooper, won his primary with 83% of the vote. Roy Cooper has never lost an election in 30 years. He is the official Democratic nominee in that race. Tom Tillis did not want to run against him, so he retired. There is a Republican running, a former congressman, and Trump endorsed. But I think we flipped that seat. I think we flipped Maine. I think we flipped Ohio back to the Democratic side with Sherrod Brown. I think we flip Alaska. And if Kim Paxton will win Texas, we win down there too. That will give us a 52-seat majority. And if we still have time to get some competitive races in other areas as well too. Not necessarily to win those seats, but to keep the Republicans busy and put them on defense right now.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that the sun is shining, or preparing to shine, as we move into daylight savings time, or more light in the summertime. And I'm hopeful that the things that somebody has taken note to all of the things that Donald Trump have trampled on, have overturned, have messed up, so that we can undo some of this. It's going to take years. To really. And what do we do with a FBI that has been dismantled? What do we do with Homeland Security that's been?
Our FBI director's too busy partying and drinking beers with Team USA men's hockey team. I think right now they're being used as political operatives, not as law enforcement agencies. And I think over these next few years, you're going to see more people who are opposition to the Trump administration be targeted, arrested, and stuff like that.
Wow. This is not good, but you know what? Brighter days are always coming because we still have hope and we still believe. This week we will be the homegoing celebration of the Reverend Jesse Jackson,
Yes.
and I'm very grateful. All but President Trump will be attending that service. Do you find any reason why he wasn't attending it?
Donald Trump don't like black people.
Oh, so
I'm
many
going to
black people
pull a
there.
Kanye right now.
Okay.
He does not care about black people. As you saw, he ordered the flags to be lowered for Charlie Kirk, but not for Jesse Jackson. Mike Johnson would not allow the honor to be bestowed upon Jesse Jackson to lie in state in the U.S. Capitol. So again, and he tried to justify it by saying that Jesse Jackson was not a member of Congress, which is not true because Jesse Jackson was the first shadow senator for D.C., which has the privileges of that. So again, it's just racist based.
Yeah, we're gonna continue to press forward and just, as Jesse Jackson would say, keep hope alive.
Yes.
Don't let it die, and don't let it die with him. Keep hope alive. Brighter days are coming. And I saw coming out of the woodwork some very powerful preachers and powerful people who will be attending this service, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of the press that comes out of it. He lived a good, strong life. Omega 5 certainly will miss him. I have pictures of him, and I'm hopeful that our screen will be able to show him. But I have pictures of him when I was a young student at Lincoln. I was president of student government at the time. Jess had gone over as a Q too, and he came and visited our campus, and we had a good time together. I had a chance to be with him during his campaign as well. So, and when we celebrated our 100th centennial anniversary of Omega Psi Phi, he was one of the powerful preachers that we honored, and I will always remember keep hope alive.
Yes.
What a great man he was. I want to thank you. Anything else left on your
That's all
calendar
I
today?
have for today?
Well, I want to take this opportunity to say thanks to all of you who watch us every week. We get ready to get a new scenery. So as we are preparing and we got some new folks on board, we're gonna let you know we're gonna go a little bit stronger than we've been going because we believe we got some good for you. Till the next time, God bless.
Take care, y'all.
You've been watching The Sword with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Coby Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes. Hear our praiseworthy choirs every Sunday, including the Israel Men's Praise Team.
I feel it inside of me, telling me to go ahead.
The E. Zion Men's Choir.
We will win, we will fight. We will win,
The Rockin' with Jesus Youth Choir.
Open your mouth, say something. Open your mouth. Open your mouth, say something. Say something. Open your mouth, say something.
The Shabbat Praise Team.
You can have it. Reach up and grab it.
The Dodd Choir.
It's sorrow, my hope for tomorrow. My
The J.L. Henry Choir. The Jones Family Praise Team.
God is my everything. Come on, y'all, put your hands together. Hey, one more time, God.
And the Judah Youth Praise Team.
keep on smiling.
Inquire about joining the music ministry by calling the church at 302-652-9114.